Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today in War Thunder we have another devblog, and this devblog is for the German helicopters, specifically the BO-105 attack helicopters. Now, in this devblog they actually talk about 3 helicopters. Now, something that you may have realized, I think is probably the best way of putting it. When it comes to helicopters, there is normally a general frame and then it is improved upon. Something that we see in modern day combat is that you have a general idea and it from there creates a bunch of different variants. This is very much the same with helicopters. This is why in game we have a bunch of AHs, UHs, and then also Mi-24s, eventually going to the Mi-35. The same can be said for German helicopters, which is exactly what you see before you. This is going to be the introduction to German helicopters into the game. And to do it, they're offering once again another premium helicopter and some others which are going to make the beef of the tree. Now, a lot of people will be asking, why Germans? Why Germans next? Well, it's quite obvious. The first thing is the 3 major nations that people play in the game are America, Germany, and the USSR. Now, you could even boil this down to 2 major nations, the Germans and the US. With the USSR coming in a close second, the British, Japanese, French, and Italian coming up a bit jumbled up in a third area, we'll call it. So, the first logical conclusion we can come to when it comes to helicopters is that the German helicopters were going to be the next ones in the game, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Now, there are slight differences for the helicopters that the Germans are getting compared to the others, but the general ideas are very similar. They have ATGMs, some of them are maneuverable, or at least the ones that we see. They are quite fast, they are much more designed to take out ground vehicles than fight in the air. And so let's go through the differences between these vehicles and the ones that we already have in game in the form of the American and the Soviet ones. So, the BO-105 attack helicopters serve as the foundation of Germany's rotorcraft on the battlefields of War Thunder. Several different versions of this reliable and efficient ground vehicle killer will be available. Let's take a look. So, once again, as I said, just like the Mi-24 and the AH and the UH, this is going to be the backbone, and then the variants of it are going to be made from it. Developed in the late 60s, the BO-105 multi-purpose helicopters were used for civilian and military needs in many countries. This light helicopter with 2 turboshaft engines and a 4-bladed main rotor stands out due to its high reliability. All of the vehicle's main systems are duplicated. In our game, the BO-105 helicopters will become Germany's primary rotary wing aircraft at rank 5. I'm struggling with my R's and W's today, as you may be able to see. So, 4-bladed propeller, 2 engines, so pretty much very similar power, at least in how it's going to be sorted out compared to something like an AH-1Z or the Mi-24s. The fact that it is going to be a hell of a lot lighter than those is also something which adds to its high maneuverability. Something that we can't get away from, though, is since it is a multi-purpose helicopter, it is never going to be as good in an attacking role as something like an AH, because obviously it is more designed around being able to do every job. This was the issue when you look at the UH in-game. The UH helicopters, even though they may be useful, especially the premium one with its ATGMs, they're never going to be as good as an AH, because they're not designed for all-out warfare. They're designed to be good at everything, or what is the thing? Good at everything, master at nothing, basically. Jack of all trades, master of none, is the coined phrase. The average speed is generally comparable to that of the American Cobra, so around 240 kilometers an hour, but the BO-105 is exceptionally maneuverable. Its 2-engine design gives it a chance to get to a landing zone even when one of its engines is damaged, but you'll probably want to completely avoid enemy fire as the BO-105 has no armor and only 1 pilot. So most helicopters in game already don't have a lot of armor. So experienced or helicopter pilots who have had a bit of experience now will know the issue with not having a lot of armor. You die incredibly quickly. Well, take away all of that armor, and that's what you get here. So we're talking about a one-shot, two-shot capable aircraft, where it's not really going to be able to take any damage at all. Now, luckily, it has ATGMs, so you can actually stay out of range of a lot of the things that will be able to kill you. What it doesn't help you against, though, is the jets which are going around. Luckily, though, Gaijin has made it harder for jets to even get in the air, so this is the way that the helicopters have a chance of actually being useful. For the initial testing of the German helicopter range in War Thunder, we have only created anti-tank modifications of the BO-105 equipped with ATGMs. These modifications of the helicopter have no machine guns or cannons, which is one more argument in favor of keeping it away from enemy vehicles. So these are completely offensive vehicles. Now, what do I mean by that? So, if we have a look at a plane like this is the UH-1C XM30. Battle rating 9.7, rank 5. It is the premium for the Americans. Now, if we look at its modifications, you can get 2 turrets, the 30mm cannons, which makes it different to the one in the tech tree. You can get Hydras, you can get TOWs, the ATGMs, and then you can also get some miniguns. You have options there. And if you want to take the cannons, or if you want to take the miniguns, then what will happen is you will have an edge over another helicopter in the PvP mode, and you should be able to outgun them, or at least put a decent amount of fire their way to be able to hit them. The problem with this, when it comes to the BO-105, is that there are no machine guns, there are no cannons. Now, what it says here is the initial testing. So this does not mean in the future they won't have machine guns or cannons, whether it be these models or whether it be new models that they add. But something to understand is these are going to be fully offensive. You are not going to be able to defend yourself. The only defense you will have in this is the maneuverability, which we've seen from helicopters is either it's quite hard to do, or it's very much up to the aiming of the person on the other end. There's not a lot you can personally do in that regard. And then the other thing is you won't be able to defend yourself against anything. So you are purely offensive. Now, in ground realistic, this is completely fine. In ground realistic, the majority of the time you should be completely offensive because you want to get as many ATGMs off before you get smoked out of the sky by either an ATGM coming from the ground or a jet coming in after somebody has rushed the cap, just like you've had to do to get in your helicopter. So when it comes to the German helicopter in ground realistic, I think it'll be completely fine. I mean, it fits the meta, right? That's why when we looked at the spawn point changes, what they did was they increased helicopters which had access to ATGMs, when they had ATGMs equipped by plus 40%. 40% of the original SP cost, showing how effective or how to be effective a helicopter in ground realistic has to use ATGMs over everything else. In the PvP scenario, though, I don't see how these helicopters are going to be that useful. And the PvP scenario for me is where I've enjoyed using them. I've used the initial helicopter, the Mi-4, and also the AH, because I didn't buy a premium pack. I just went through the helicopter stars, and I've had a blast so far. It's been a lot of fun. When it comes to ground realistic, though, obviously the only experience I have is facing them, and I still haven't seen a helicopter take over a game. I've seen one or two do pretty well, but when we look at new mechanics or new aircraft or new things added to the game, you're looking for that spark. You're looking for that individual performance which goes, okay, this is now on the map. And for me, I haven't seen that yet. Maybe with the AH-1Z and the Mi-35M, when people start getting more of them, then we'll see that. Will we see them with these German vehicles? So, with the German ones, since it's already been said, or since they have already said, let's just see if we can zoom in here. There we go. Since it's already been said that these are going to be the backbone of the German line, on top of everything, they only have access to ATGMs, whether this is because they are rushing them out, or whether it is because they've just realized that, that's the only thing that people are using them for in Ground Realistic, here are 3 helicopters. We have one on the left, which has access to 6 ATGMs. We have one in the middle, which has access to 6. And then one on the right, which has access to 8. And the way I see it is the one with the 8 is actually the premium one. And let's just make sure to get this right, while the ghost of Christmas past seems to be behind me right now. Hopefully you don't hear the pipes. For War Thunder, we chose several anti-tank modifications of the BO-105 that we would like to present to you. So let's check out the new German helicopters. So these are the 3 that we're getting. We're getting the PAR-1, the PAR-1A1, and the CB-2. So the PAR-1, the first serial batch of helicopters for the Bundeswehr, they began to be supplied in 1980. The helicopter is equipped with 2 420 horsepower American Allison 250 C-20B engines and a first-generation Hot 1 ATGM. 6 guided anti-tank missiles are installed along the side of the vehicle. So in my guesstimations, that is this one here. Then we have the PAR-1A1. It's the German BO-105. It was upgraded in 1990. A new main rotor with differently shaped blades was installed, as well as more powerful engines and more modern guided Hot 2 anti-tank missiles. 6 of them, just as in the first version. So this is this helicopter here. Because obviously if we look at the video, it says 8 ATGMs for the premium one, which is the CB2, and also in this configuration here. So this is the PAR-1A1. Then we have the premium version, which is the BO-105 attack helicopter, grants early access to German helicopter closed beta test and allows you to research any German helicopter significantly more quickly. An experimental version with 8 American TOW ATGMs, as you can see here. So this is the first helicopter, the PAR-1. This is the PAR-1A1, and then this is the premium one. So what do you get access with the premium one over the other 2 that they've shown? Well, first of all, 2 more ATGMs, which can be definitely a deal maker or a breaker. The ATGMs themselves are TOW missiles, whereas the other 2 are Hot 2 and Hot 1 ones. So we actually have all of these missiles in game. So if we have a look at the UH-1C, this has access to TOWs, so 630 millimeters of penetration. Then if we go to the AH-1Z, I believe, this has TOW 2, so 900, but I believe it'll be the 630s that it's given. Otherwise, it will just have to be a straight 10-0 vehicle. And then if we go to the Army and actually look at the Raketen Jagdpanzer, you have the Hot missile, which pens 800 millimeters. And it doesn't say which Hot this is. And then you have the other one, which is here, which is the LFK SS-11. So for me, we have some Hot missiles, which will pen 800 millimeters, and then we'll have some TOWs, which pen 630. Both very much capable of doing what, is required of them when it comes to killing tanks. Now, the fact that you get 2 more of them for the CB2, I think, is a big thing compared to the others. But the main takeaway from this is they get more ATGMs per vehicle. They all get ATGMs. The CB2, the premium one, gets more ATGMs than the Mi-24 premium and the UH premium. So in that regard, it's better, but it does not have the flexibility of having machine guns or cannons or rockets or bombs. It's straight up just ATGMs. So if you're looking for a machine that is going to be useful in ground realistic, this is going to be your thing, right? We already know the ATGMs are the only thing that is really useful in ground realistic when it comes to helicopters. Now, if you like that, it may be a good deal for you. But if you're a person who likes helicopter PvP and likes, being a little bit crazy and a little bit fun, then my guess is a machine like this may not be up to par for you or up to snuff. Let's have a look at what you actually get out of the packs. So, the first pack that you have is the BO-105 CB2 pack. and then you had the Leopard and BO-105 CB2 pre-order bundle. So very similar to what we saw for the Americans and also the Soviets, so where you had the T-55AM and the XM-1 bundled in with the helicopters, and as you can see, this is $69.99, and then we have $39.99 respectively for each of the packs. So the first pack that we're going to have a look at, if I get it right, there we go, is the CB105. Now it has a little bit of extra information here on the BO105 if you want to read it, but we're going to focus on the pricing. So right now there is no discount on this bundle. You get this decal here, so it's a Wasp decal. You get the Stinger title, premium account for 15 days, 2,000 golden eagles. So if we go to our handy dandy calculator over here, which is my head, 2,000 golden eagles is around about $10. Then we have a look at the 15 days of premium. So that's around $5. $15 taken off the top of this, which is $40, $25 for this helicopter. That is the way I see it. So taking away all of the other gubbins, $25 for this helicopter. You get access to the German helicopters, you get access to a premium one to grind it out, and in my opinion, you get access to the pound for pound best premium out of the three so far, if you only enjoy playing ground realistic. If you play the helicopter PvP mode, I would actually personally say the UH-1C is the best, but that is up for interpretation. But if we just go straight for ground realistic, this one should easily be the best. Then we have a look at the pack. So the pack is $69.99. You get the Leopard A1A1L44, the new Rank 5 9.0 German premium tank. I think it's a brilliant tank. It should actually be a 9.3, but it isn't a 9.3, unfortunately. So it's a 9.0 tank with a 9.7 gun on it, sitting at 9.0. Now, a lot of people have not been doing too well in this vehicle, or at least the reports so far is that it's getting up-tiered a lot. Yep, that's a 9.0 vehicle for you. You're going to get up-tiered. But if you look at the Leopard A1A1 compared to the XM1 and compared to any other premiums that we have around that, it does have the best capabilities in being up-tiered, because it has that gun, it has the stabilizer, and it still has some speed behind it. The XM1 and the Leopard A1A1L44 battle is very interesting to watch. I would personally say it's in favor of the Leopard, but the main issue with it right now is that it's being up-tiered a lot. But that's just something that's going to happen. You're going to have to get used to it. It's still a really good grinder for the German tree. It's also incredibly cheap to repair. I believe it's under 2,000 right now, which is ridiculous. So making credits, silver lines is never going to be an issue. So what do you get out of this? Well, you get the Leopard A1A1 and the helicopter. You also get access to 2,000 Golden Eagles and 30 premium days. So 2,000 Golden Eagles, as we said, $10. 30 days of premium, let's say $10, so that's $20. So it's $70, take away $20, $50. So $25 per vehicle. Once again, very similar price to what we're paying here for the single vehicle. So if you think in your head that these two vehicles, a tank which is going to be great for grinding out the whole of the German tree, and a helicopter which is going to be great at grinding out the whole of the helicopter tree, if $25 seems reasonable to you, I'd say pick up the pack. For me personally, when I have a look at this pack, I'm not too interested in rank 6 play when it comes to ground vehicles. When it comes to helicopters, I already have access to the helicopters because I've done the stars. So I should technically have access to the Germans. That for me is not clarified in this piece, which is something that I would like to have clarified, because here it says if you buy this you get access to the German helicopter closed beta test. Now is that different to the other helicopter closed beta test? Because if we look here, it says helicopter CBT access. And if we look here, it once again says helicopter CBT access. So are they seeing this as you have to buy this helicopter in order to access the new German helicopters? Or if you already have CBT access, do you have access to the new Germans? That's kind of what I would like to see sorted. Because one thing we've just seen with the Royal Navy is, even though if you had access to the ships, you had access to the last 3 trees, what you do not have access to is the Royal Navy, and you have to buy into it. I'm wondering if that's the case for this tree as well. I would like to see that clarified at some point, but overall, if you want to get yourself into German helicopters, I would definitely say this is a good deal. I would definitely say it's the best out of the 3 premium helicopters that we have when it comes to ground realistic, and it should be one of the most fun to fly because it is maneuverable, because it is something that you can flop around. Just understand that you have no defenses on this thing. You have no armor, you have no guns, you have nothing. You have one pilot, some paper between him and the bullets coming in, and you have ATGMs. So if you're okay with that, and you want to play a light, fast, very explosive mood, then yeah, it's going to be very, very fun. Overall, it's nice to see the Germans added to the game when it comes to helicopters, because this means we are one more step closer to the British helicopters, which is the one that I am personally looking forward to. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.